Hello and welcome to Two Whole People. I'm your co-host, Connor.
And I'm Kevin.
Wonderful. Today, on this episode of the podcast vid show type deal that we only post to YouTube,
Yep.
We should probably post it.
Possibly
it's a
coming
different
soon to other platforms, maybe, as we get people to watch it.
As we
maybe.
get so popular.
If people will watch this, please.
On this episode of the show, which is primarily about tech, data engineering, data science, computer science, software engineering, all sorts of fun stuff, but can be about whatever we want it to be about.
Because we're in charge.
We are the Two Whole People. It's not like we're talking about someone else.
Oh no.
That's us. We're going to be talking about, again, our time in college. This time, this is going to be a very opinionated show. This is going to be the favorite course that we took. So not the course that's most helpful to what we do necessarily. It's just going to be whatever we thought was the course that we liked the most.
Rewarding for us.
Yeah. So our favorite course and then our least favorite course. Or in more harsh terms, the course that we hated the most.
Yep.
So, and again, when we're talking about courses, we're talking about me and him went through the same computer science bachelor's program at Grand Canyon U in the state of Arizona. So that's the course that, or that's the program that we're talking about in the context of where these courses come from.
Yeah.
And we took the program, we began to take the program in 2014, which was the year that the program was first offered. So that means that
it's baby year. Like it's birth.
Yeah. So a lot of this stuff was new. A lot of the courses were new. A lot of the professors, it was the first time that they had ever taught it. So there were some bumps and bruises along the way, but
growing pains, if you will.
Yeah, we're not going to try to let our eyes be clouded by hate.
Right.
Unless we want to, in which case we will.
Because we can, because this is our show.
We are the Two Whole People. All right, number one. So for me, what was my favorite course that I took in the computer science program at Grand Canyon U? For me, it was object-oriented programming, the lecture and the lab. And for those who don't know what object-oriented programming is, I would Google it. Jeez, so lazy. But the reason why I would say that this was my favorite course is because it was the first time that I really began to understand the functional utility of coding in general. It was the first time where you'd make a class instead of just finding an object, and it felt like you were actually beginning to save time when you were trying to write code. It's like, oh, I get it now. You can write in an abstract way and just save yourself tons of time because you've already defined basically all of the objects that you're going to use in your program, but you've only done it once, and then you can tweak certain parameters on the class in instantiation, and then you can tweak whatever the object is to best match what you would need at certain points in the program. So yeah, for me, it was just the first time where I felt like I was writing more efficient code. Because, in the first year of the program, there was a lot of slowly trying to figure out how to write Python code that would print out the right text string that you would want. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of time to try to figure things out for not a lot of not a lot of results that were satisfying. It was just a lot of work, and it was like, oh man, this is so much work for nothing. And then as soon as we began to talk about objects and programming and how to make a class and everything like that and how to write codes in that way, it was like, oh, I can write 1/10 as much code.
Yep.
And still do the same thing. And then all of a sudden it was, I feel like I'm an actual programmer. I feel like things are coming together. Things are efficient. Things are fun to write. So yeah, for me, that was
It was the first time that we realized that like there's not just one way to do something, but there are different ways to do stuff that will best fit certain situations. So I think that was a really cool thing to learn. Also, we learned about states in that course, like programming based off of states, having objects be in certain states. That was really, really helpful, even though I definitely cheated on that project. Like 100% I did. And
don't cheat, kids.
Yeah, don't cheat.
Adults.
Well, I guess you just do whatever you want. I don't think that matters.
I don't know. That's the message we want to be sending to our young and impressionable tens of
like 14,
people watching this.
Let's try and beat our view count this time around, guys.
Share the video with your friends if you like it.
Or just play it on repeat. And I don't think it really...
Still trying to cheat.
Yeah. Cheating on this project as well.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's a good point. Aside from the cheating, yeah, it was the first time that we thought about.
I still learned
states.
though, so that's like really like I still learned about it, even though I cheated on the project. Should I be admitting this? Like, can they take away my bachelor's if I admit to cheating on?
I really hope so. That'd be amazing. Although that wouldn't affect anything, I'm sure, at this point because you're so deep in your job. I think
they would like me more.
Care. Yeah,
they would like me more. They'd be like, "Oh, you don't have a bachelor's anymore? Nice. Neither do we."
Yeah. So.
Even though I think my boss just got his bachelor's now. So.
What a nerd.
I know. Lame.
Oh my God. All right. So, what was your favorite course, Kevin? It looks like you have two of them down there.
I have two again because I still can't follow the rules. So the first one was information security, mainly because of our professor. Because of the effort that he put in, but also it was great because it was the first IT course that we took, like at all. We took two IT courses, information security 1 and 2. I put 2 as my favorite one because it was the first time that I wrote anything in PHP. And that is the main course, or not course, main language that I use like every single day. So but our professor was Shad Sluiter, and he's got a wonderful YouTube channel for learning how to code and doing projects. And I believe actually all of our old homework assignments are still up on his YouTube channel. Because remember, he used to give us like a YouTube video with the lecture in it and like how to, like, here are the instructions for your assignment. Here's what your results should look like. It was the best, most well-taught course I took at GCU, 100%, hands down.
He put in a lot of effort.
And we all appreciated it very much.
And the name of the channel is Programming with Professor Sluiter, and that's Sluiter. And
let's link it in the description. We should link it in the description.
I forgot that we could do that.
We're YouTubers now.
Check the link in the description below to find out more about Programming with Professor Sluiter.
It's actually, a lot of his stuff is super helpful for new developers. Like if you're fresh on the job or you're still in college, or you're just trying to get into it. Check out his channel. He does a bunch of stuff. So
he's got a lot of subs.
He does have a lot of subs.
We might need to do a crossover.
Oh yeah,
I don't think we're worth that yet.
No, we're not worth his time.
Just wait, Chad. There's no way he sees this. Wait like a year or something. We'll be up there, and then
won't he get a notification when we link him in the description? Also, we're talking about this like in the video, so he's gonna watch it and be like, "These guys are idiots."
No, I don't think he will ever be aware of this video. I could email him. But
yeah, shoot him an electronic mail.
Let's just leave Shad alone. He has done enough for us.
He really did.
We were CS kids that our favorite course was an IT course. That's how well he taught.
Yes.
Anyway, all right. Enough of the.
I know. Yeah.
Guys,
we're literally advertising for somebody else's. Yeah. And so my second favorite course. Was, I think we talked about this in the last video, was Principles of Database Design. And the reason that I loved that course so much was because it was the first time that I was good at stuff in college. Everything else, I was like barely cutting it.
You just had to cheat on.
Yeah. It was like, oh, I don't know if this is right. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I would like be in every office hours with, what's his name? I don't even care. Steve Powelson. Remember that guy? Great professor.
We're just gonna drop names.
I am dropping names. I'm thanking the people from college who helped me
I guess if it's
not
positive,
quit.
it's fine.
But that was the first course where I understood things. You know what I mean? Where it was like,
Yes, I know how
have
it
you ever
feels.
understood anything
I know
before,
how
Connor?
it feels to understand. You know when you do something and then
you actually know what you're
something
doing?
else happens and you're like, I understand why what I did led to the result.
Yeah, as you can tell, I was great at college. But yeah, that was the first course where like I understood SQL. I understood how databases were designed, why they were designed that way, and how to use them. So that was a nice boost of confidence halfway through that sophomore year that I really needed, because my least favorite course came later.
Would you like to jump into that?
Yeah, we can go
Do
right back. So my least favorite course was digital logic and design. So this course sucked for so many reasons.
Oh, and this course was fine for me, but
Yeah.
Kevin got.
I got
Was this the project?
Yeah.
Where we all.
yeah
Okay.
yeah.
We'll talk about
Should we talk about that story?
What is the class?
So basically, this class is actually a really cool class. Like the content in this class is super helpful. So like when you're taking it, pay attention, because it's all about logic and like binary logic and Boolean logic.
Logical gates.
Yeah, it's all about that, and also discrete mathematics and just like that kind of stuff. And it was really cool.
it helps.
The projects were cool. It was just, I don't think everything. This is one of those courses that, again, we were taking it for the first time, so obviously they weren't prepared. They had never tested it on people.
Just on a couple
Just on
hamsters.
rats, you know. So when we got into it,
Both made the same awful joke.
yeah, that was terrible.
Oh, okay.
PETA, don't kill us, please.
Well, they would, because we're not.
We're not, yeah.
So who cares?
We
about
are
people?
two whole people. We're the worst. Anyways, so when we got into this course, it had never been taught before, and we had a lot of projects that turned out, I don't know if they had typos in them, but it just wasn't possible. So we had to make a lot of concessions with our professor and be like, hey, like, can we do this instead? And it was really confusing. And I don't want to toss anybody.
No names.
No names.
No names.
My professor told us, so we were supposed to have a solo project at the end of the course that was worth 30% of our grade. 30% of our grade. So I needed a 30% of that 30% to pass the course. He said, hey, turn in whatever you want and then just tell me your partners and I'll grade the one that you guys tell me to grade.
So it was a solo assignment, but then it became a
Group assignment, yeah.
where one person turns in the project, and then that person tells the professor who the other people on your team were.
Yeah.
So it's one. This is very important.
This is the most important thing.
One paper basically that you turn in, and then you list the names, and then theoretically.
We were all supposed to be graded the same.
All of the people, because it's impossible for the professor to know like who gave what amount of effort. So we would all be getting the same grade, is what we thought.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how else that would work.
You guys all did get the same grade, except for me.
No. So I got.
And you get like a 66%.
I got blasted on this assignment, and I did way better in a lot of other courses. But
It's true.
I got like a 68 or something, and then teammate B got like a 64, teammate C got like a 72, and we're like, this is weird. And then we like look over at Kevin in the corner, just staring with hatred in his eyes at his grade.
I got a 29. 1 more percent and I would have passed this class. I got a 29%. So I went to the professor and I was like, hey man, I thought we were all getting graded the same. We all got graded differently. And it wasn't like, oh, you guys were all supposed to turn in this, like the same assignment to your individual thing.
One person turned it in.
Yeah, he said one person. So
I think it was me.
He just said...
And I didn't even get the highest grade, and I was the one who turned it in.
Yeah.
So we were confused.
Yeah, so he said turn in whatever you want to yours, but just make sure that the person who's turning it in for your group states that in their thing. And we made sure that Connor did that. And so we all went up to him and we are like, hey. And he's like, oh, I'll change your grades. That's my bad. And we're like, okay, good. So I thought this entire time, so I think there was like a month left in the class. I thought this entire time I was going to pass this class. Because I was
possibly keep the grade.
I was told, I was told I would pass the class multiple times. Come to the end of the course, I do not pass the class and have to retake it and pay that absurd amount of money again to retake a course that I passed. So that is why I hate it so much, because it was emotionally scarring.
Yeah, that had really nothing to do with the content or the technology stuff.
The content was good.
Opinion.
And you know who I took it with? Another name drop. You know who I took it with the next time, and it was great?
Was it Shad?
Yes. I got Shad for this class.
Go to programming with Professor Sluiter.
It was 100% one of the best, first of all, they rewrote the curriculum. They rewrote it.
Yeah, that probably helped.
And that helped a ton because there was a lot more explaining. I don't know if he did it or if they actually were like, all right, first time through, they people didn't like this.
It's probably Shad. He was like, my good friend Kevin is having trouble.
Yeah,
I'll rewrite the curriculum.
And he did. He gave us worksheets in class of the logical gates and all that, and I was like, man, if I didn't already know this, I would definitely learn it in this course. But I passed the course. So I want it to be stated on this YouTube channel that I passed this course and had to retake it.
If you're comfortable, what was the net loss in terms of dollars?
Oh shoot! Yeah, so that's another big thing. Reason why I was so angry was because I had an academic scholarship to GCU. I believe most people who went there did.
It's not.
And it was at one level, and they had tiers of academic scholarships, and I lost that scholarship because you can't fail a course and keep that scholarship. So I lost. I think that netted $15,000. And then I, of course, had to pay for the course again, which was, I think, another $2,500. So it was somewhere around $17,000 that I lost just because my grade didn't get changed to even if because we didn't do great on the assignment, we did a garbage job.
But we got a 70.
But I would have passed because I think I got a 69.4% or something in the course.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. But yeah, so that's why I hated that course. I'm sure Connor's story will be less emotionally scarring and sad.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. My worst course was computer graphics. So I was an algebra kid for math. I was not a geometry kid. I didn't like that. I mean, I was fine with it, but
I was a geometry kid too, and I still didn't get this course. So let's be clear.
So most of the programming courses that we have taken, it's a lot of the algebra type skills and way of thinking. That's kind of what translates over if you're trying to write an algorithm, or if you're working with a variable like X. It's There's a lot of stuff that tends to carry over in terms of algebra when you write code, depending again on what you do. But computer, we had to create the graphics in the course. So if one assignment was to make a chair of some point, or to make a scene, and a chair had to be in it, and a couple other objects had to be in it.
Yeah.
And we weren't using tools that people would use to make these types of objects. drag and drop, or like we were writing in, what was it? I can't. WebGL, where like we had to write the geometry to specify where things would go, like to make the cylinder for the chair, and then the rectangular, or just a cube, I guess, for the seat. Like we had to write the geometrical equations to create all of the computer.
Well,
like it
let's
was.
Be clear. We were supposed to write.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
We were supposed
How did
to
we
write
cheat
that.
this time?
I didn't do it in WebGL. That's how I cheated this time. Well, to be fair, this one wasn't actually cheating because I went to
cheating.
every class, and I went to the office hours with this professor who was a good professor. He was a great professor. We loved him to death.
It was not Shad.
It was not Shad this time,
But it was a good
another good professor. And I was like, listen, this WebGL stuff, it's not going to work for me. And he told me, like, you can use Python. And I think he did it for you too. I know he did it for one of our other buddies. But
he did do that.
So we were able to do all of our fractal assignments in Python. And that actually wasn't that bad. It was still like, I don't care about this because I've been so just like hurt.
Well, that, and it's like, I'm not going to create these things. And like, even if I were to pursue a job in this, I'm not using this. I would use
like Blender or
something.
What's that one that they use?
I don't know, but there's tools that like I would never sit here and write I'm sure that might come in. Like that might be helpful if you're if
you're working for Blender.
Yeah, or if you're using Blender and you need to make something custom that you actually need to know the equations.
I feel like you write that in C# though.
I don't know.
I really feel like you do.
All I know is like I'm not going to be a graphic designer, so I do not care about this at all.
Yeah, and wasn't it in like Java or something? And it was like a completely different type of language than we had been learning.
It was confusing.
So it was just like in the middle of like this really, I will say this, they laid out the languages like that we used in our curriculum pretty well. It was like everything was based on C at the very base. So our most basic courses like were all in C, and then object oriented was in C++. All of our object oriented classes were in C++, and then all of our other courses were in Python, which is they're all in that C family. And then this one came out of the blue with like Java, and we were like, I don't. So we were having to learn new syntax, which obviously now, if you guys are developers, it's not that big of a deal. But when we were students, it was like,
well, it was hard to learn. It's like, I could learn this, but I don't care about the class.
Yes.
So my motivation is very low.
I think that the gaming, because we had two main tracks at our college, and one was game design and like video game design, and the other one, which we were in, was the data analysis, like big data analysis. So we definitely didn't care about this. I feel like the game guys cared.
Yeah, well,
and they still really struggled with it.
I think they learned they shouldn't be in game design with that course.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this is
yeah, because I don't think any of them work for gaming companies right now.
No. Well, that's like the hardest.
It is very, very
one of the hardest types of coding jobs is to make games. It's so difficult. You have to build.
I tried one time. It was no good.
Yeah, I mean, and there's tools to help with that too, but that's hard. That's a hard job. But they make awesome games, so I love them.
Yeah.
You keep on making games, game devs.
Yeah.
Even though your lives are awful.
Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine working for a game development company.
Oh man,
that would be so hard.
I mean, I just hope they make it like a ton of money, just to offset.
I'm sure they do.
The pain that they have to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, was that?
I think that's the end of it. I think that's the end of this episode.
Are we gonna nail the outro the same way we've done in all the past videos?
Welcome to Two Whole People.
That's the intro.
Got him. How do we?
I'm just gonna let you.
What's our outro? Okay. Hey, we're leaving. Eviscerate us in the comments. Let us know what you hate about us, personally and due to the video.
What has the video done to you that makes you sad?
Yeah. What makes you sad about us, what we do, who we are,
how we look?
Yeah. Just really get into it. This is going on forever. Yeah. So do that, comment, like, subscribe.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell for notifications, unless you don't care, which is fine. All right.
The end.
Goodbye.